Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Man's Final Steps. It is a continuing series to those who would be in the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude mentioned in Revelation 7th and 14th chapter. Today is January 18th, 2014. According to the calendar in which we've been inundated with, a calendar that has been used to hide the true time measurements of the Most High. It is the 18th day of the first month of the year of that calendar. My name is Symmanayah. Greetings again, my brothers and sisters, and in this segment of Man's Final Steps, it is entitled Assembly Orders. I was awakened and compelled to present this message this morning. It is a morning that begins the day of Shabbat. So to you who are listening, Shabbat Shalom. Yes, there are many who would think that the Shabbat starts from evening to evening, unaware that it is indeed morning to morning. Notice, I absolutely did not say sunrise to sunrise. I said morning to morning. But that is the subject of another topic, another recording. But know this, my brothers and sisters, the day will come where the division and all this confusion regarding when the Shabbat starts and when it ends, the day will come when all proof and righteousness will surface. All doubt will be removed, and the Shabbat will truly be guarded as it should be. That time will come. It was as though the Spirit of Yahusha woke me this morning, telling me, arise and present these words to the assembly. Words under the title, Assembly Orders. Yes, this is the title to this segment. I believe I was guided to examine various scriptures. Though I present them in part, though they demonstrate a critical point, I want you to be mindful. There is the literal and there is the life in the scriptures that flows like a rushing river. I believe the Spirit of Yahusha instructed me to remind each and every one of us that he will make alive working words, messages of life. Upon examining many verses, mind you, there is, again I mentioned, the literal meaning, the direct placement, and who it was spoken to at that time. But there is also a life in the scriptures which flows like a rushing river, as I mentioned. It was as though the Spirit of Yahusha said to me, I worked, I rested, I remembered, I worked some more, and so must those who seek to worship and obey me. My brothers and sisters, consider these words. They are indeed assembly orders. They are not a suggestion. They are not merely opinions, nor are they dead words. Pray and watch. The life of these words will come. Allow me to present these scriptures to you. Isaiah 64:5. You shall meet him who rejoices and does righteousness, who remembers you in your ways. See, you were wroth when we sinned in them a long time, and should we be saved? I repeated the word remembers, although it is mentioned once in that verse. That was Isaiah 64:5. I want you to be mindful that the Most High remembers. 2 Corinthians 7:5 read, and his tender feelings are greater for you as he remembers the obedience of all of you as you received him with fear. Yes, my brothers and sisters, it is critical to know, remember. Remember these words, my brothers and sisters, as I continue. The word work, rest, remember, work, rest. Let me present that again. Work, rest, remember, work, rest. These are the assembly orders, my brothers and sisters. They are orders to the 144,000 in multitude that will come out of the great tribulation. It is a time to realize that there will be work. There will be a time of rest. There will be a time of remembrance. There will be a time of work. There will be a time of rest. This is the message to the 144,000 in multitude. Let our eyes be open and our ears be made clear to hear what the Spirit of Yahusha is saying. Matthew 11:28 reads, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I shall give you rest." 2 Thessalonians 1:7 says, "And to give you who are afflicted rest with us when the Master Yahusha is revealed from heaven with his mighty messengers." Now let's move to some other scriptures. Genesis chapter 2, verses 2 and 3. And it reads, "On the seventh day Elohim completed his work, which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work, which he has made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and set it apart because on it he rested from all his work, which Elohim in creating had made." My brothers and sisters, the Most High Father demonstrated to us work, rest. He teaches us that he remembers, he asks of us, he demands of us, he orders us to work, and he grants us mercy and favor in a time of rest. Exodus 20th chapter verse 8 says, "Remember the Shabbat day to set it apart." Out of all the 10 commandments, this is the only commandment that say remember the Sabbath day to set it apart. Exodus 31:14 reads, "And you shall guard the Shabbat, for it is set apart to you. Everyone who profanes it shall certainly be put to death. For anyone who does work on it, that being shall be cut off from among his people." I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, all these different days for honoring Shabbat, all these different times and divided beliefs regarding Shabbat will come to waste. They will come to an end, for in these last days, in these end times, the Most High Father will present the proof of when the Shabbat start, when it ends, and how we are to guard it, and how he will prove that it will indeed be guarded by his strength, his power, and might. He will prove it by executing right rulings, using those whom he chooses to lead in the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude in these final days. Leviticus 20:22 reads, "And you shall guard all my laws and all my right rulings, and do them, so the land where I am bringing you to dwell does not vomit you out." Although this is initially speaking to Yasharal at a point in time, it also speaks to a time in which we will be directed to safety. And when he says, "Guard all my laws and all my right rulings," I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, these are the living orders and instructions from the Most High Father. Many think when he says, "Guard all my laws and all my right rulings," that it is just in written text and it is just in the letter. Remember, the letter kills and the spirit makes alive. I submit to you when he states, "Guard all my laws and all my right rulings," it is for us to be dependent on him, to come to know his living voice, to identify with his set-apart spirit that he sent in Yahusha's name, as referenced in John 14:26. Remember, my brothers and sisters, we serve a living Elohim. Moving along, Leviticus 25:18. "And you shall do my laws and guard my right rulings, and shall do them, and you shall dwell in the land in safety." His right rulings, my brothers and sisters, I submit to you, will be executed through him directly in spirit, through his messengers, and through those whom he has chosen to lead the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude. Let us seek and pray to discern all that is presented to us and respond with a ready mind. Proverbs 2:11 reads, "Discretion would guard you, understanding would watch over you." Could these attributes be attributes that are given to those who would lead, who would watch over those who are among the ranks of the believers, the true worshipers of the Most High. Proverbs 7:2 reads, guard my commands, and live, and my Torah as the apple of your eye. Again, his Torah, his teachings, his instructions, his rules, his laws, his living Torah. Many, again, think this is just talking about the 5 books of Moshe. But I submit to you, it is the living instructions, it is the living commands, it is the living teachings of the Most High. Isaiah 56:1 says, thus says Yahuwah, guard right rulings and do righteousness, for near is my deliverance to come and my righteousness to be revealed. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, the day will soon come when we will see this scripture be magnified like never before. Luke 4:10 reads, for it has been written, he shall command his messengers concerning you to guard over you. John 14:23 reads, Yahusha answered him, if anyone loves me, he shall guard my word, and my Father shall love him, and we shall come to him and make our stay with him. His word, this is his living word, my brothers and sisters. This is the word that flows like a rushing river. This is the word that gives life. This is the word that cuts through and divides and separates. This is the word that magnifies that which is most righteous. He that is most righteous. Philippians 4:7 says, and the peace of Elohim, which surpasses all understanding, shall guard your hearts and minds through Messiah Yahusha. Remember, these words are in part. I encourage you to pray in order to move beyond the literal and witness the life in these words. There will be those who will consume much time and may cause you to be distracted, but be mindful of such and focus on what the Spirit of Yahusha is saying and how he is making alive the meaning of this message to you. Seek to discern and understand why this message is presented and for what purpose does it have in your life. It will be wise to come to hear the voice of the Spirit of Yahusha directly in or be able to discern him speaking through one of his chosen. Consider this, my brothers and sisters. In Shabbat, we discover a time of resting from work. We witnessed it was a sequence demonstrated by the Most High Father. He worked, he rested, he remembers. So will we come to accept these sequence within the assembly orders. There are 7 feasts. In addition to the Shabbat, which is one of the appointed times, there are 7 feasts. Passover, unleavened bread, first fruits, harvest, trumpet, atonement, tabernacle. Hear this, O Yasharal. Hear this, O children of the 144,000 in multitude who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuwah. Hear this, you who accept Yahusha as Mashiach and as Messiah. Listen carefully, for these are critical words. These are assembling orders. You will come to know the importance of Shabbat. You will come to know the purpose of Shabbat, the feast days, the new moon, which is actually the full moon. Yes, you will come to know that. You who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 in multitude mentioned in Scripture, and the truth will come with proof. Any and all other teachings contrary to righteousness will be as obstacles and removed from your midst. The 144,000 in multitude will come to be. It is not a maybe or a might. It is not contingent upon finding those who might respond. This group, the ranks of these, are ordered in order that scriptures may be fulfilled. The ranks of these individuals will reflect the fulfillment of what is written. Prophecies will come to be, which no man, woman, child, no government, no army, nor anything, no beast, nor any creeping or living thing will be able to stop what is to come. In Passover, in these feasts, while men may look at them and look at the flesh and think it's just a time to eat and enjoy and fellowship, I submit to you there is a blueprint There is a message beyond the flesh that is paramount for all that will be gathered among the ranks of the 144,000. And that message to you, my brothers and sisters, is remember, Passover. Passover beyond all eating and gathering. Passover is a demonstration and a time to remember. It is a time to pass on to one generation after the next that this was a time of instructions. It was a time of instructions, and if these instructions were ignored, death will follow. If these instructions were adhered to accordingly, out of obedience, you would discover life. Examine. I submit to you, the feast of the Passover is about instructions for receiving life. It's about instructions that tell you if you do not receive life, death will follow. Unleavened bread. It is a time when we are bombarded from attacks. Remember, the flesh war against the spirit. So first and foremost, as we make a decision to adhere to the instructions and accept life, we will be bombarded with attacks beginning with our own flesh, for the flesh war and fight against the spirit. We will come to know how to manage these earthen vessels by the power and strength of the Spirit of Yahusha. And in doing so, we will know how to remove unrighteous leaven. We will know the meaning and our practices of identifying unleavened bread. Mind you, there is good leaven and there is bad leaven. There is righteous leaven, there is unrighteous leaven. Leaven means influence, my brothers. And so once we determine and identify life, it is as though the Spirit of Yahusha is saying, remember, now that you've identified life, you must execute right rulings as I guide you to remove unrighteous leaven, unrighteous influence, to come away from the unrighteousness. You must be mindful of times to execute right rulings. First fruits. There will be those among us who will grasp things quicker than others. For their earnest pursuit of righteousness, in their earnest pursuit of righteousness, they will discern, understand, and come to obey the voice of the Spirit of Yahusha. Whether it's directly or through anyone whom he chooses to use, first fruits will identify those who are quicker to receive than others. It is just as it is demonstrated when we see first fruits which ripen before the rest of the harvest come to be. Do not despise the rewards of those who would be akin to first fruits, my brothers and sisters, for they are the sharpening points. They are like points. They are like the sharpened edges around Yasharal. They are like the bold ones who will pierce through any and everything that seek to harm, disrupt, or withhold what is righteous. Do not despise the actions of the first fruit. Harvest time. Yes, my brothers and sisters, this is a time when there will be gatherings. This is a time that we will witness demonstrated maturity, identifying the fruit of labor, gathering the life in the harvest. It will be a time of recognizing from seed to harvest, a time to identify the work, the nurturing, the guarding, the protection, a time to acknowledge that maturity has come. It will be a time of appreciation for all that is being done, all that has been done. It will be a time of acknowledging the many mercies and favors that have brought about the spreading of life. Harvest time. Trumpets. There are appointed times to speak out, O Yasharal, and we will speak out as guided by the Spirit of Yahusha. Just as when they marched around Jericho and were instructed to be silent until the appointed time, so will we witness times of silence and times of sounding the shofar, as well as times of speaking out. Notice, my brothers and sisters, this is the fifth feast. This is the fifth appointed time. It is the marking of the Moedim, the fifth of the times, and it is in the wake of learning about Passover, unleavened bread, first fruits, and harvest. Notice that it is a time to sound the shofar when the majority are ripe, are mature. are ready to speak out. It is a time when we speak strongly, and you will see it will be a time where the 144,000 and multitude will echo the orders and commands of the Spirit of Yahusha as each are compelled to do, in action and function, and in deed as well as in words. Atonement. It is a time to realize as we go along this journey, we will indeed fall, we will stumble, we will make mistakes. This was known before we were born. We will experience the washing of our robes, and they are made white by the blood of the Lamb. The Almighty Father Yahuwah sent his set-apart Spirit in Yahusha's name, as mentioned in John 14:26, to provide proof of life, proof of restored fellowship with the Almighty Father, to teach us and to bring to remembrance all that he has said to us, whether through his Spirit or whether it is what he has said or speaking to us through us one towards another, or through one of his chosen teachers, leaders, or messengers. And then we come to tabernacle, my brothers and sisters. It is a time we will know unequivocally, with no doubt, we will come to wholeheartedly believe the structure of man as well as the structure of this body of one with many members under the reign of Yahusha HaMashiach. So we see Shabbat, work, rest, remember. We see in the seven feasts a blueprint that is necessary, that is paramount for strengthening and reinforcing the individual who will be called among the ranks of the obedience. Now the new moon, the full moon. Yes, I said it. The new moon is the full moon. We will come to know its repeated importance. We will not state, nor maybe, we will come to know it is a time to remember. Yes, all doubt will be removed. The purpose of the new moon is a time to remember. It's a time to acknowledge when it is indeed the season for bringing in a harvest. You see, my brothers and sisters, many of us fail to realize there are different harvest times for different fruits and vegetables. It is a time to prevent us from taking for granted how seeds were planted that were nourished. They were guarded. They lived. They matured, and they contribute to the spreading of life. Yes, the new moon, the full moon, which comes 12 times per year, regardless of what man has done to hide the truth, it still occurs only 12 times a year. It marks the time of diverse fruits and vegetables which are being harvested. It marks the time of maturity, a time to remember, a time of reinforcement. It marks a time to gather and teach, to reinforce all that has been done, all mercies and favors that have been received from the Most High. 12 times a year it is emphasized. It is presented to us. It is a time to remember, my brothers and sisters. Pray and watch. Proof will come in clarity on these matters. Assembling orders. You would come, yes, you who would come to know that you are a participant of the 144,000 in multitude. You will see, we will see the sequence regarding work, rest, remembrance, work, rest. We will come to know the ranks are being refined and perfected as so ordered by the Most High. We will come to know the true Shabbat, the purpose of the feast days, a blueprint for a solid relationship with the Spirit of Yahusha. We will come to know the purpose of the full moon, the new moon. We will witness proof regarding the Moedim, all the appointed times that I have mentioned, and more. Yes, those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 multitude will witness what is righteous and how these times must be recognized and will be recognized. All confusion and division on these matters will be laid waste, even if it means at the death or at one being put to sleep. They will be laid waste among the gathering of Yasharal, the 144,000 in multitude. In our coming together in these last days before the return of our Mashiach Yahusha, we will witness all that is necessary to prove his righteousness. As each of us are gathered who would be in the ranks of the 144,000 in multitude, we will come to identify with assembling orders. Assembly orders we will come to recognize their purpose. We will come to recognize with understanding and proof what must be done. We will rise and increase in discernment and understanding. And we will recognize the purpose, how it contributes towards unity. It was as though the Spirit of Yahusha told me to present these words, my brothers and sisters. It was as though my Mashiach, my Messiah, our Mashiach, our Messiah, said, Son of man, speak these words. These are assembly orders and will be carried out. These assembly orders consist of knowing the purpose of work, rest, remembrance, work, and rest. These assembly orders are for Yasharal to remove the blinders, to clear the ears, and yield to the discernment, to the revealing of what is true, what is righteous. These assembly orders are for Yasharal to know the blueprint of what's to come, the blueprint of what is ordered, the blueprint that is at hand regarding our fellowship, our regeneration, our worship, our obedience to the Most High. Yes, my brothers and sisters, in these assembling orders, it will require returning to our first love, the love that gave life, the point when we identified Yahusha as our Mashiach, as our Messiah. Yes, these assembling orders require returning to that point where life began for us, returning to that point to understand the Shabbat and the blueprint in the 7 feast days. Well, not days, 7 feast times, my brothers and sisters. Yes, we will recognize how and what their purpose are. In these assembling orders, there will be times of remembering where we have fallen, to return to the righteous and straight path. In these assembly orders, those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude that will come out of the great tribulation, we will demonstrate righteously what it means to work, to rest. We will come to know and demonstrate the importance of remembrance, work some more, and rest, in a manner in which man have never before witnessed. Prepare, my brothers and sisters. How many times are coming? Extreme changes are coming. There will be life. They will be life-changing moments. There will be life-changing moments. And we will come to adapt to the formation of a true and righteous reign led by our Mashiach, our Messiah, Yahusha. Prepare, my brothers and sisters, to witness Scripture come alive like never before witnessed by man in such a magnitude. The magnitude of what is to come has never occurred. Yes, there are those who will say, oh, there's nothing new under the sun, and try to throw a scripture here or there to dispel these words. But I ask you, my brothers and sisters, have we witnessed end times over and over again? Have there been many judgment days in terms of going before the throne? Will there be many times when we will go and determine whether our names is written in the book of life or not? Absolutely not. Unequivocally not. These are man's final steps. And there are assembly orders. Prepare, my brothers and sisters. Prepare. Gird up for work, rest, remembrance, work, rest. And understanding these assembly orders will become clear. And they will become clear to us individually and collectively, those who will be among the ranks of the obedience. Be careful. Be careful of what you dismiss. Choose wisely how you manage working words. For in our actions will come benefits and or consequences. Seek, my brothers and sisters. Seek to discern earnestly. Begin asking questions with a mind to earnestly worship and obey He that gives breath, a heartbeat, and life immeasurably. Be encouraged, my brothers, my sisters, my family. This complex and challenging journey is coming to a major transition point. We will witness the return of our Mashiach, our Messiah Yahusha. The two witnesses of Revelation will soon become visible. Their ministry will reflect the last two shepherds of Yasharal before the return of our Mashiach, our Messiah. Prepare, for all proof will come, and it will be clear as to who has been chosen as elders in the formation and structuring that will bring about the fulfillment of the presentation of the 144,000 in multitude. Yes, all clarity, all proof will come, will emerge, and we will be taken. Many will be taken to a safe and appointed place. Yes, it will be a multitude. It will be 144,000 and a multitude of many nations, kindreds, and tongues, with the same goal to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuwah, with the same goal and objective and commitment and covenant to serve and identify and accept Yahusha as Mashiach. Yes, my brothers and sisters, but these numbers, these ranks, would only represent a remnant when compared to the total population of the planet, which is roughly over 7.2 billion people. So it will be a remnant when you compare it to that population. Proof will come. It will come with fervency. It will come with all seriousness. It will come with the presence of the hand of the Spirit of Yahusha to remove all obstacles, to remove all doubt, to bring to remembrance, to bring what is right, what is necessary for us to know whom it is that we have chosen to serve, to worship, and obey. Proof is coming. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, remember, the motto has been established. It has been presented to us in words such as work, rest, remembrance, work, rest. The purpose of the Moedim has been made known. Until next time, continue to be mindful. There are assembling orders. We must come and we will come to know Shabbat. We will come to understand the true purpose of the Moedim, and we will respond to the blueprint in our obedience, in our actions, in our deeds, in our demonstration of being able to purge what is unrighteous and embrace all that is righteous. Assembling orders, my brothers and sisters. Prepare for the refining process, the perfecting of the body of one through the guidance of the Spirit of Yahusha is emerging and will come like a rushing water, like rushing rivers. Yes, my brothers and sisters, things will be made clear. Pray and watch. Establish a ready mind, body, and soul to respond to He who sits on the throne of righteousness. Until next time, my brothers, remember, this is all too real. It is something that will come to be. Until next time, continue to stay tuned as this series, Man's Final Steps, continues. As I receive breath, as I receive a heartbeat, as I receive mercies and favor, as I believe I am compelled to present, as directed by the Spirit of Yahusha. Until next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.